Take a second to write that down.
Oh, short ABC again. Let me get it.
So far, this unit, we've only been talking about univariate equations, right? So one variable. Now we're going to talk about multivariate, right? So multiple variables in a single equation. It's going to look something like this. D plus 3n equals 1.
Which means the D would be a -2.
We'll talk about it in a second. As long as you get a copy down, that's what you should be doing. So D plus 3n equals 1. What are my two variables in that equation? D and n. So you're going to see an equation like this, and you're going to be asked to solve for a specific variable. In this case, we're going to solve for n. All right? So we're going to do inverse operations just like normal to get n all by itself. The only difference is we've got an extra little variable here. So we're not going to get a nice little n equals 2, n equals -4 as our answer. Our answers are going to be a little bit more complicated. Okay? So I'm going to split my equal sign just like always. Now imagine, just for a second, this is all hypothetical. Imagine that my variable D, imagine that it was a 2, right? So let's say it's 2 plus 3n. What would I do first to get n all by itself? You would subtract what? You'd subtract 2 from both sides, right? So instead of doing that, we're just going to subtract D from both sides. I know it sounds a little weird. What is D minus D? Nothing, 0. They just cancel. I'm left with 3n. What is 1 minus D?
-1D.
1 minus D would be 1 minus D. You can't combine 1 and D, right? We don't know what D is. I know I said that, well, let's imagine that D is 2, but it's not actually 2. That's just to show what we're doing, right? This is no different than if that was a 2, right? We're subtracting it. It's just we can't combine it with the 1. I know this is weird, okay? What do I want to do now to get n all by itself? Divide, right? We're just doing what we've been doing. We're dividing both sides by 3. I think once you guys see how this goes, it'll make sense. What happens to my 3 over 3? Turns into 1, leaving me with n equals. Can I simplify this at all? No. So n is equal to 1 minus d over 3. Did we solve for n? Is n all by itself? Yeah. Is the answer nice and clean? No, it's ugly, but that's fine. All right? I know it's weird. That's our answer. N is equal to 1 minus d over 3. Basically, it's like you got a bed frame, right? And you're moving houses. So you take it apart, you move it, and then you put it back together. That's kind of like what we're doing here. Like if this expression here is our bed frame, we're taking it apart, and then we're putting it back together just somewhere else. I mean, That might not be a good example because it would look the same and now it looks different, but I'm not very good at analogies. Everyone see what we did there? Tyler?
You could say that the bed frame broke.
Sure, yeah, the bed frame broke and moving now it looks all ugly and funky. Huh?
There probably one analogy in class that involved ice cream and poop.
Beautiful.
And then we had another analogy involving fart.
Okay. Very nice. Let's see what we can do with this next one. Okay, this one's gonna be good. Let's say we got 3c minus 8d equals 12. And we're gonna solve for c this time.
Yikes.
Can anyone help me out with what I would do first here if I want to get c all by itself? Anthony, what do we want to do first?
Subtract both sides by 3c.
So we're trying to get c all by itself, right? So just like in a normal equation, we're peeling off everything around it. So what could I do with this minus 8d, do you think, Anthony? What's the opposite of subtracting?
Oh, add.
Adding. So we're going to add 8d to both sides. And I'm not going to write it directly under 12 because I can't combine it with 12. So it's kind of like off to the side. Right? My 8d's go away. It gives me 3c equals, what's 12 plus 8d equal to? Good. Now we're getting it. 12 plus 8d.
Bro, these numbers are about to be so.
They're easy.
It will tell you which one to solve for. Right? It could have easily said solve for d, and we'd be subtracting 3c from both sides, right? But in the book, it'll tell you solve for blank. Yeah, great question. You're not just choosing one. What do I want to do now? Divide both sides by 3, just like we normally would. Here's where it's going to get a little bit different. All that's left here is c equals
12 plus 8d
12 plus
over 3.
8d over 3. Does anyone see something else we can do here? What can we simplify, Colby? The 12 and the 3. This is two separate fractions, okay? This is 12 over 3 plus 8d over 3. Right? When we're adding fractions with like denominators, we keep the denominator the same and add across the top. That's exactly what this answer is. 12 plus 8d is me adding across the top, and I keep my 3 the same. Now I can simplify. I'm going to add in here, we're going to say split up and simplify. What is 12 divided by 3? 4. So c is equal to 4 plus 8d over 3. Again, it's not the prettiest answer in the world. But we did solve for c, right? C is all by itself. It'd be a lot better if we knew what d was so we could get a number, but we don't.
This is going to be confusing, never will.
This is going to be confusing. Probably. It'll be okay, though.
How many questions are in the homework?
10. 10 questions. 1 through 21 odd. 10 questions. Let's do one more example. You guys want to do a hard one? Oh, you want to do the homework without doing a hard one together? We're going to do a hard one. Hold on one sec, guys. What's that? I should do one that's in the book? Yeah, that's what I'm about to do. I'm about to do a harder one. All right. Here it is. Ready? df plus 10 over 6 equals g. And we're going to solve for f. Not too bad, right? Maybe?
Bro, why is it so confusing?
Okay, who can help me out? What's my first step? Erase the problem. That's a great first step. Not an option. Not an option. What are we going to do? Give you a second? Okay. So look. Take a look. We're trying to peel back all the layers from this F. Right? That's what we want all by itself. There we go. Chloe's got it. We're going to multiply both sides by 6. What's that going to do with my 6's on the left? It's going to get rid of them. So now, essentially what we just did was bust that fraction. What's g times 6? 6g. Now at least we're all on the same level. There's no fractions we're dealing with. So when you have that fraction, first thing you want to do is clear it by multiplying both sides by the denominator. Great job, Chloe. What's next? Subtract d? Minus 10. Subtract the 10. Oops, sorry. Okay, 10 minus 10 is 0. That leaves me with df. What's 6g minus 10?
6g minus 10.
Good. Not negative 4g, right? Because that's 10 is a constant.
Because we can't combine it.
That's right. We can't combine them. We can't minus it. That's right. What's the very last thing I need to do if I want to get f by itself?
Divide both sides by d.
Divide both sides by d.
Divide both sides.
Now,
Now we get f.
listen up, right? My d's cancel out to 1. I'm left with f equals, what's 6g minus 10 over d? 6g minus 10 over d, right? We don't even have to really simplify anything. Is there anything I could simplify here like we did before with splitting it up? No, because my denominator is d. I can't cancel out a d from the top, right? So there's my answer. F is isolated. It's all by itself. That's what f equals.
Why do you have to do such a complicated subject?
It'll be okay. You guys are going to have 45 minutes to do 10 problems. I don't think it's that hard. Maybe it is.